Uh, I think Canada has beaches. I'm like 50% certain Canada has beaches. Late into the night, around 4 or 3 in the morning, Woj and Shams were both kind of tweeting about a potential Toronto Spurs trade for Kawhi Leonard. And then it started getting serious because once Adrian Woj says that they're seriously considering trades and blah, 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 it's like, okay. But we had heard so much Kawhi mess that we didn't really expect anything. And then it actually happened. Demar Derozan, Jakob Poeltl, and a 29 protected first round pick are going to be going to San Antonio. And the Raptors will be receiving Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green. This is going to be an interesting season, to say the least. So for Toronto, they get Kawhi freaking Leonard, Defensive Player of the Year, Finals MVP, the only guy to make LeBron James upset when he checked in. There's not really much else here we have to say about him. Potential MVP candidate when healthy and playing both sides of the ball to almost the peak you can in this era of NBA basketball. Danny Green, 3-and-D aficionado. Not really much else there except it's a perfect fit for the Toronto system. I think the way that Toronto plays, Danny Green will just seamlessly slide in there. As far as Kawhi Leonard, we have to see if he's healthy for one. And if he is, I think the Toronto Raptors could be dangerous in the East. But I will not jinx it because everyone has said that for the last 4 years. And they just got a new player who we don't even know is going to play for them because he doesn't even want to play there. But he's also like potentially still injured. We don't know what's going to happen. So it'll be interesting to see how the Raptors handle these new acquisitions in order to further push them competitively, especially now that LeBron is in LA. This definitely shows the Raptors still are not giving up, but they are making different moves instead of really sticking with continuity for continuity's sake. So the Spurs got all-star shooting guard, mid-range flamethrower DeMar DeRozan in his prime, hasn't had too many injuries or any injuries. I believe he's kind of injury-free when it comes to stuff like that. He's a relatively healthy, uber-athletic shooting guard, will help the Spurs stay competitive, especially after they lost so many players. And they also got Jakob Poeltl, who is a young, athletic, hustle big man, so it'll be good to have him on that team, on that Spurs team, learn the Spurs system, depending on how Greg Popovich crafts it with his two All-Stars in LaMarcus Aldridge and DeMar DeRozan. So the Spurs will have an interesting season. This team looks completely different. Really, the biggest subplot is going to be seeing if Kawhi Leonard stays in Toronto, because basically Toronto is making a really, really risky gamble here, similar to OKC when they traded for Paul George, knowing he was going to be a free agent right after the season with them. So if the Raptors do well and Kawhi decides to stay, A+ for Raptors. You made a risky move. You got rid of your most loyal player who was in his prime, and you managed to get a better player. That is, if Kawhi's healthy and plays the same way he did when he was with the Spurs. We don't know how that's going to work out. If he leaves, the Raptors basically got rid of their prime shooting guard and a first-round pick. And even though the first-round pick is protected 1 through 20, I'll give them that. And a bench big man that was a part of their bench squad. The Spurs will just stay competitive, which that's a Spurs thing. So we'll see what happens. Well, this guy says, when you want to go to LA, just go to Canada. Just go to Canada. Canada has maple syrup. LA has good weather. There's no competition here. Duh.